I've got some stories I want to tell y'all. I have so many stories. But this story has to do with the number one thing I see every day in the service-based business world that service-based business owners are not doing. Oprah ain't coming. Oprah ain't coming. No one is coming to pick you out of obscurity. And so it is your job to bet on yourself. So here's my little story. When I lived in Denton, Texas is about 35, 40 miles from the Texas-Oklahoma border, and just across the border by a few miles is the WinStar Resort and Casino. And it is the largest casino in the world. And it is one of my favorite casinos in the world. Why is my favorite casino in the world? Because it's the place where my husband and I have won the most money. And because there are many times when my husband and I would, it'd be like a Thursday night, and we'd be like, what do you want to do tonight? I don't know. You want to walk down to the square? No, I don't want to walk down to the square. We walked down to the square 1,000 times and we're bored at the square. You want to go to the WinStar? Yeah, let's go to the WinStar. So we get in the car, we go to the WinStar, and we play slot machines. My husband didn't used to play slot machines. My husband used to play, and he still likes to play blackjack. I think he plays blackjack. Does he play blackjack or poker? I don't know. He plays one of those card games. But I like to play slot machines, partly because I'm ADD and I love the fucking noise. And I love the exhilaration and I love the possibility of winning. Who else loves the possibility of winning? And this is fun. I talked to a client yesterday and they said to me, I don't care about winning. I just hate losing. Pay attention, because I love the possibility of winning. And a lot of you business owners are so afraid of losing, you won't place a bet. And it's costing ya. The other thing is, some of y'all have been programmed not to gamble, okay, both literally and figuratively. So literally, it's funny, right? Like, I had my 50th birthday in Las Vegas. Not the greatest place to gamble, I know. But even my two best friends were like, I don't want to go to Vegas for your birthday. And I'm like, it's my 50th fucking birthday. You wanted me to plan a trip. You just wanted a trip to the beach. I'm going to gamble. And people are like, oh, I don't want to lose money. You're so afraid of losing. And sometimes I am too, but you're so afraid of losing. So Bill and I go to the WinStar, and there's a couple of different kinds of gamblers, and we love to go together. We love to go and meet friends up there. Every once in a while, we would plan something, we'd go to a concert up there and we would gamble. Now, when we first started out, Bill, and I'm going to tell you the kind of gambler Bill is. I'm going to tell you the kind of gambler I am. I'm going to tell you the kind of money we've won and how we did it. And then I'm going to tell you, because I want you to look for yourself, and I'm also going to tell you the third kind of person. And what I see happening, I don't see enough Bills and enough Allisons in the business. I see too many people being this third type of person, and it's costing you. It's not just costing you money. It's costing you confidence. It's costing you getting to share your work with the world. And so mind you, you go to a casino. Yes, there's potential to walk in and walk out with nothing. It's happened to me plenty of times. But there is also the potential, and it has also happened to us. It did not happen to me directly, but it did happen to my husband, to be walked out with an armed security guard with $18,000 in cash in your hand. For me, the highest I ever won at one time was $1,200. It cost me $4 to win $1,200. But here's the thing. So I'm a max bet person. I'm a max bet. And what max bet is, if you aren't familiar with slots, slots have a certain payout, right? Like I think you all know that on a slot machine, you want to have the things match. And when the things match, you win. And each spin costs a certain amount of money, and a lot of machines. So first of all, let me just give you, this video is a combination of real life and metaphor. Okay. So if you're a business owner, I need you to pick up the metaphor, and the slot machine stuff is just the extra fun you're going to get from me today. So, on a slot machine, yes, you want to get like the 3 cherries, right? And let's say it costs you 25 cents to spin. Right. Remember when, I don't know if y'all remember when slot machines used to be quarters. I remember going to Vegas, in 2007, and you carried around buckets of nasty quarters. Well, everything is digital now. I actually have a friend who may see this video who designed slot machines, and he sent me a message and said, hey, by the way, because of you, I designed the Wonder Woman slot machine, and it's been one of the most successful slot machines in the whole world. That's a whole nother story. And slot machines have, like, you can go up to, oh, look, there's a penny slot. The penny slot doesn't cost me a whole lot of money. These days, if you go up to a penny slot, the minimum pull is $9. Okay? $9. It's tricky because, like, yeah. So the other thing that slot machines have is it's not just one line, right? There's different lines on a slot machine. And so if you play 3 lines, you have more chances than if you just play 1 line. Bam, 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 right? Because sometimes it's like tic-tac-toe, right? Let's say you have tic-tac-toe. And so part of it is, yes, how much money am I going to spend? This costs 25 cents. Well, there's this thing called max bet. Not all machines do this, but a lot of machines do that. So you've all walked by a slot machine and you've seen the progressive jackpot, $135,000. And you're like, nobody ever wins that. Well, I tell you what, you know where they win that shit? At the WinStar World Casino. I've seen it so many times. It's so fucking fun. And I've seen it on a certain machine. And I love this machine. I will give all my money to this machine because it always gives me money back. And this is my philosophy about business. I will always give money to the machine of business because it always gives me money back. And some days I leave with my pockets empty and I hang my head, but I get back up and I do it again. And so back to these slot machines, Bill goes and when he first started, he would look for the cheapest pull. I go and look for the most economical pull with the biggest payout possible. And so there's this one certain machine. You can put your money in and you can do a quarter a spin. Or no, let's say it's $1 a spin. I'm sorry. It's $1 a spin. $1 a spin. But I'm sitting next to, so there's 3 machines. We play the Mega Meltdown, the machines. There's 3 machines right next to each other. Actually, there's 4 machines right next to each other. And 4 of us friends are sitting on this row of machines. And my husband is sitting next to me doing $1 at a time. And I'm doing with max bet, which is $4 at a time. And he looks at me and he's like, you're spending $4 at a time. And I said, you bet I am, because look up here. When I see the information about how this game works, if I get those 3 things to match and I haven't spent that $4, I don't get that big jackpot. I only get $200. So if you hit it with your $1 spin, you get $200. But if I hit it, I get $18,000. And I said, loosen up, take a risk, and hit the max bet for me at least 4 times. Spend $20. 4 times 4, 16. That's 16. So 5 times. I said, spend $20 in max bet. And my husband does the first max bet and gets nothing. And he does the second max bet and hits the $18,000 fucking jackpot. He literally hits the thing that if he had not max bet, he would have won. He'd have been happy. He'd have been happy with $200. So there's the thing. So I've taught my husband, and he doesn't always do it. I'm still willing to take more risk. I'm willing to risk more to make more. He has a much more moderate risk level. But here's the thing. He'll still put the $1 in the machine. I may put the $4 bet in the machine. But you know what? Here's the third kind of person. The third kind of person stands over our shoulder and watches and wishes and doesn't have, for whatever reason, I don't say this with shame, I just notice the fact that they don't play the game. And I see business owners all the time wanting to be in business, struggling because they do not have enough clients, but they don't put the goddamn dollar bill in the machine. I tend to max bet. My husband, there are certain times, and he's actually found a couple of good machines that we love where, and you have to pay attention. You have to learn something, right? You have to kind of learn the market. You have to learn what's going on. You have to learn yourself. You have to learn your clients, right? So you have to learn how to read these machines to understand what is possible with the dollar you put in. It's not just fucking arbitrary. I mean, there's a lot of arbitrary to it. Trust me, my friend Michael will tell you that. And in Vegas, technically the house always wins. So my analogy only goes so far. But what I'm saying is there's always, especially when we go with a group of friends, there is someone that stands over our shoulder and is like, oh, that is so fun. And I just don't have the guts to do it. I don't understand it. I'm scared of walking away without all my money. And I see that in the business world so much. I see you not betting on yourself. And you'll think and you'll go and you'll learn and you'll take another class and you'll take another class and you'll take another class and you'll spend more money on another thing. And you already have all the tools. You have infinite dollars in your pocket, actually, to bet on yourself. And never, ever in a time. When I first started in business 20 years ago, a little late to the game, I was in my 30s. I had no idea I wanted to be a business owner. But when I first started in business, do you know that you had to go to fucking BNI meetings or pay for paper marketing or do cold calls? We did not have this digital world, and we now are in. No matter if you hate it, get on board. Now listen, it's a love-hate. It's like fire. I used to teach my clients the internet is the fire of our time. It can burn you or it can warm you and provide for you. It all depends on how you use it. So yes, be a master of how you use it. But the thing is, I see people all the time who are not making offers. They're not putting the dollar in the damn slot machine. And I put out offers all the time. I certainly could put out offers more. I did not put out offers all summer long. But in general, I am constantly making offers. Direct offers, indirect offers, buy now offers, talk with me offers, here's my program, whatever it is. And yes, a lot of times I just write prose that is other stuff. But that's what I see is I see people not willing to bet on themselves. And in the past, I have people say to me, how come, I've been your client. How come you never asked me to speak at your event? I will never ask somebody to speak at my event that does not put their work out there regularly. I am not your Oprah. I am not here to promote you. I promote people who promote themselves. Hands fucking down. I will not show up for you if you will not show up for you. If you stand over your shoulder and watch me do great things, I can tell you all day long how to do great things, but at the end of the day, you got to put your goddamn dollar in the slot machine and place a bet. And when I am placing a bet, I may lose. And most of the time at those damn slot machines, I absolutely do lose. But every once in a while, I fucking win, or at least I play all day and I've been entertained. My husband's really good at stretching the entertainment for less money, right? But that's what I like to do. I like to do big bets. I like big bets and I do not lie. But don't be the person standing on the sidelines and going, God, trust me, it feels good. I remember one of my first times in Vegas. This was back before there was a law. There's a law now. I don't know what the laws changed to, but it was called P51 early in my business days. And before P51, when I was a realtor, lenders and title company could spend shit tons of money on you. You could, like, lenders would just hand us cash. They would take us out to dinner. So when we go to Vegas, when we would go to Vegas for these conventions, the mortgage people and the title people would wine and dine us realtors so that we would give them business. You know, now there's a $50 limit. That's what the law was, a $50 limit. But I remember going there and being given bottle service and limousines and, here's $500 cash to play gamble. Like, unreal. People handing me money. It was fun. It was fun when other people handed me money, but it wasn't fucking real life. And I see other people not willing to bet on themselves because they're so afraid of, by the way, this is not to my client that I was talking to yesterday. Just if you happen to watch this client that I was talking to yesterday, this is not you. This is a slightly different, but I did like that phrase that, I had a client share with me, right? Like, I'm not really interested in winning. I'm just afraid of losing. But I realize how many people are out there living and embodying that truth. You're so afraid of losing, you make no move. And so, yeah, you do all the things behind the scenes. Like, and the way that shows up in self-employment is you get your website ready, you get your offering ready, you do all these other things except for bet on yourself. And Oprah's not coming. And if I look back in 20 years of being self-employed, is it my skill? I got some skills. I've always had skills. Okay, I've had some. But you know what it is I get up every fucking day and I bet on myself in one way or another. Sometimes betting on myself is resting. This summer, betting on myself was telling my clients, I said, you will not see me sell publicly this summer. I'm going to take care of myself. I'm going to take care of my family. And I'm going to take care of my current clients. And for 4 months, I didn't sell a thing. I may have written and created, but I did not actively or energetically sell anything. Oh, and I wrote my book. And I'm back to sell. And I'm not selling you something you don't need. That's the other thing. And I'm not going to go into what I'm selling today. Today, I really did just want to tell you, you know, this is a phrase I learned from Gary Keller. And he called it MOFIR, M-O-F-I-R, all capital letters. Make offer for immediate response. And that was in the real estate world. But that's, to me, making an offer for immediate response is max bet. And yeah, you can put in the dollar or the quarter bet. I do it. I mean, all summer long, I put in dollar quarter bets by writing prose and sharing my heart and showing my work. I can share my heart and show my work without selling anything all day long. That was my intention this summer. But I see people sharing their heart, showing their work, but they don't make the offer ever. They don't get in my inbox. They don't say, if you want to join, here's the link. They don't say this is available, or they use flowery language and they don't say in kindergarten terms, I have this service for this amount of money and I have this space to start the project next week, whatever it is. And so, yeah, sharing your heart and showing your work and talking around it is doing a quarter bet all day long. I think it's a good start. There's no mortgage lender coming to give you $500 to put in the slot machine. Oprah's not coming. Glennon Doyle is not going to discover you and put you on your podcast. And the amount of time and money and energy you're spending either worrying about losing or hoping that somebody else is going to lift you up And I love it. Here comes Annette Stahl. Annette Stahl's in. And you know what? Annette Stahl has been a client of mine for 5 years. And for the first few years, she was absolutely invisible because she was taking care of a dying partner, right? Totally legit. And I see Annette Stahl every day out there max betting on herself. She shares her heart. She shows her work. She puts out offers. She shares her heart. She shows her work. And she puts out offers. And you know what's funny? So tomorrow is a life coaching call with my membership, and Annette is in my leadership program. And once Annette had processed through a few years ago being a quiet watcher member of my coaching community, and she was ready to come out back into the world again and ready to be visible in her own life due to her own circumstances, not only did she start showing up in Solis visibly, but she decided to join my leadership program, which at the time was called Spark on Hustle and Flow. And Annette shows up. She shows up every call. She shows up to every I do a Friday check-in with these things, and most of the time my leaders don't do it. But every fucking Friday, sometime during the weekend, Annette answers those self-reflection questions. And when I'm not able to be in class, now it's never Annette's responsibility, but it is an opportunity. If I'm going to be in a training and I want to lift somebody up, give somebody else my platform, my stage, an opportunity to work with my clients, Annette's covering my call tomorrow. Why? Not because Annette said, choose me. Not because, and I know you won't take this the right way, Annette doesn't coach like me. Not because she's my little, model of doing things exactly. Annette's going to show up tomorrow and do her thing her way. But the reason I even notice Annette to ask her is because Annette shows up for herself. She doesn't just stand over my shoulder watching me gamble, watching me place bets every single day. She bets on herself. And there are some days when Annette's bets beat the shit out of her. But she gets up the next day and she gets up and she bets on herself over and over and over again. And I've watched her do this through 2 or 3 incarnations in her business. I have no doubt that the current incarnation of her business is going to succeed wildly. Why? Because she's the best? Because she's the most popular? No, because she fucking bets on herself. And Annette is like me in the sense that Annette max bets. Annette gets up, and instead of watching over the shoulder, which is no bet at all. Now, here's the other thing. Like I said, my husband's way of betting, not max betting, is a start, right? Like, yes, he doesn't do the max bet, but he still plays and he still wins. And Annette max bet. Annette's like me. She's like, get me up to the $4 spin. And I'm not saying, now there's a time and a place for the interpretation, like you invest. I'm not saying, Annette, that the max bet is about spending more money. Okay? Don't misinterpret that, because a lot of bullshit fucking coaches in the world will be like, if you don't spend $32,000, how do you expect to charge $32,000? And there's a whole lot of manipulation in the coaching world. Like, you have to spend money to make money. And I want you to go beneath the surface of those bullshit things and figure out what your daily bet activities are for your business. Your front-facing daily fucking activities. And I was talking with my writing coach this morning, and actually someone who helps me be consistent with my weekly emails to my email list. And I do spend a chunk of money on it. And every once in a while, I'm like, do I need to be spending that money? I write all the time. And what this person does is she sits on my calls and she writes from my voice, from things that I say, and then she sends it to me and I kind of tweak it, and then we send it to my people every single Sunday. And what I'm paying for is her listening ear. She's literally producing what I say in written form while I'm saying it, and consistency. Yes, I can write, but I'm doing a max bet on myself for consistency. And that's the example of what Annette is. And so nobody is going to work harder for your business than you. And some of you just need to sit down at the machine and put your quarter in. And maybe you don't feel comfortable doing the $4 bet. So for right now, put the quarter in. Just get used to the excitement of the possibility of winning instead of the fear of losing. That keeps you so afraid you never make an offer for immediate sale. I have more stories coming for you. I have so many allegories and stories. I have so many I can't even keep up. There's this space between the results you want and the knowing that you have. You have the knowing. You have the knowing. You have the tools. And it is the space of behaving, choosing, acting, not out of obligation, guilt, or shame. Because for those of us midlife perimenopausal, we ain't got the fucking time to do that shit anymore. Okay. So yeah, when you're 32, your coach can say, make 100 calls and you'll do it. That shit does not fly anymore. But we've got to figure out and make the inner world emotional adjustments of confidence, care, compassion to make shitty, one of the phrases I've said to my clients all week long is make shitty art. Make shitty art every fucking day. Make shitty art every fucking day. I told a client, and I really do believe this is true for this client. If you will paint every single day from now until the end of the year, you will blow your business up. I told another client, if you will play your piano, these are business clients. Like one of them is an executive coach. Hi, Joe. I said, if you will play your piano for 10 minutes, if you will play shitty piano every single day, I don't need you to play good piano, right? I just need to stick your money in the fucking slot. Every single day. But most of you don't bet on yourselves. So please, I don't know what it is, but bet on yourself. Don't let it be perfect. Make shitty offers. Write shitty posts, you can't get shittier than the lady that just sent me a friend request and then immediately sent me a thing saying, I can help you get $32,000 months. Fuck you, lady. You need my services. Do you even know about my business? Or you just hit copy paste? None of y'all are going to make an offer that shitty. But you know what? At least she's out there making an offer. So that's what I got. And yeah, my husband, I elbowed him and said, don't just do $1, do the $4 bet. And I'll be damned if the second pull after that, he didn't hit $18,000. We had a free night that night. We're going to stay. And we went back to the back to get his money, figured out, like, do you need to mail it? Filled out the tax forms, all that other stuff. And they're like, we can take an armed guard out to your car. We were like, yeah, we're not staying here tonight. And we got the armed guard to walk us out to the car with our $18,000 cash, and we went home. And he gave me some, and he gave our kids some, and then he rat-holed away the rest because that's what he does. So that's my story. What'd you learn? What'd you take away? Say hi in the comments. Let me know what your insights are, and let me know how you're going to bet on yourself.